waiting about 20 minutes for at Duncan. We're back on the road to Ocala. We're gonna pretty much go straight up Turnpike and I-75, and we're gonna rail fin at the old Union Station today, and probably some other areas around there. And Melbourne just issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Cool. But yeah, we're making our way up to Ocala. It's actually gonna be my first time rail fanning there, so don't know what to fully expect, but geez, we got a Speedy here on the left. Range Rover, of course. But yeah, I know there's a CO40 somewhere up in, last we heard he was up near West Jacks. Who knows where he is. Probably missed 457, and of course he had a Mac leader. But yeah, my plan was to stop at Wildwood and check out the signals, but even if there was a southbound, that doesn't mean I'd see him when I get to Ocala anyways, because I won't really get to Ocala until about around 8:40, and it's 8 o'clock exactly. So speaking of, we're actually coming up on the exit for Wildwood. On my last trip up here towards Hawthorne, I did stop in Wildwood, and I actually ended up waiting about an hour and a half for M457, and I doubt he's anywhere near here, unless he's running really late. But I'll cross over the S line on this little bridge on Turnpike, so we'll see. I'm not too worried about seeing him though, because we should see other stuff there. This bridge is really cool. But yeah. Guess I'll see you guys if anything else happens, or I can see y'all in Ocala. Well, we're here at the Union Station. I'm just waiting for Drew to get here. I think we have one other person joining us as well. So we can't really get up close to the diamond. You have to, I guess, have certain access to get right there, but we could try. Then down over there is, I guess, where the little tiny yard is, where Florida Northern just interchange with CSX. There's the main line right there. But yeah, this actually should be pretty cool regardless. It's my first time rail fanning here. Of course, this used to be the old passenger station back in the old, ACL and SAL days, and now it's a bus station. Like, the bus station's over there technically, but this is, I think, a post office. I forgot what it is, but it's currently, if I can pull up my phone, it's currently 8:42. Took us a little bit to get here, but now we just gotta wait for something. Of course, there's no train horns here in Ocala, so we're gonna have to rely on the scanner, and if we hear any crossings, but we are technically in between two signals. Of course, we can't see any of them, but there is a defect detector south of the double track here in Ocala, and then there's a few signals between, there and here, so we can hear the trains, but let's hope we don't wait here a while for one. Well, there they are. Alrighty, there we go. After waiting, they're finally here. Alrighty. Y'all better park. Oh, okay, that works. Cool. Let's get this then. After saying hello and getting our camera set up, we walked around for a bit and decided to set up here at the North Magnolia Avenue crossing, right near the depot. Our first train for the day would be CSX M442, heading northbound out of Wildwood. M442 is mixed freight up to Waycross from Tampa's Yeoman Yard, and usually traveling the S-Line in very early parts of the morning, but surprisingly, around 9:30 a.m., he'd show up here in Ocala. after M442, our next train would surprisingly be from Florida Northern, who we were hoping to see here as they usually do transfer pretty often with CSX. I don't have any idea on the train ID or anything, so I'm not going to include any text, but enjoy some Florida Northern here at the yard from pretty far away. After catching Florida Northern here, they would show up again a few hours later, but I wouldn't record it, so this is all you guys are going to see of them today. Our next CSX train would be CSX M453, southbound mixed freight from Waycross down to Hialeah, near Miami. On M453 today would be two big GEs and a 4-axle EMD, probably going down there for yard switching service, or being dropped off in Winston, which they occasionally do. After getting lunch and waiting for a good few hours, our next train would show up. CSX M441 heading southbound to Tampa. On M441 today would be a CSX SC70 Mac rebuild, 2 Union Pacific ES44s, and mid-train, a CSX ES40 DC. Definitely an interesting lash up to say the least. The final train for today would be CSX M452, northbound traffic from Hialeah to Waycross. For some reason, M452 took forever to get here. For the past few hours, he was sitting in Wildwood Yard, which he usually does since he works the yard. Then, he had to stop at Summerfield Siding, just north of Wildwood, for a crossing malfunction or something like that. And when he showed up here, I guess you could say he had an interesting length, which definitely caught us off guard and was kind of funny, but also a little disappointing since we waited like 3 hours for him. But anyways, hope you enjoy.
He's laughing at us! Are you kidding me?
We waited all that time.
How did we wait that long for 2 engines?
For him to be...
For the crew to laugh at us.
Wow.
What was that?
That's actually... Wow. It's so Jover. Wow.
They knew we were going to crash out afterwards.
Wow.
Because I was just looking at them like...
And of course my camcorder's on 1 bar battery. That's great.